Hey guys, welcome back in the video series Artist Aid. This is week 2. This series is just going to help you with the basics for artists. Whether you're a beginner, whether you took a break and want to get back in the swing of things in the art world, this video series should help you. And don't be shy, message me, leave me comments, questions, anything I can help you with. Today we're going to cover pricing your artwork. Now, I wish I could tell you that there's a magical secret formula that will help you with every single art piece that you ever make and give you the perfect price that will sell immediately to all of your collectors. Unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. Every artist is different. Every artist is in a different place, whether you're beginning, emerging, professional, represented by a commercial gallery. This all comes to play when you are trying to price your own artwork. So a couple things to consider when trying to price your artwork. The first thing is time. How much time did you put into your artwork? Don't track learning curve time. If you're trying a new technique or a new material and it takes you time to master that, don't track that time, because once you master it, your other artwork will go much faster. And so if you're tracking, I spent 60 hours on this piece, mastered the scale, and now I spend 40 hours on my other pieces, you don't want this one art piece to be priced so much higher than your other art pieces because of the learning curve time. How much did it cost you to buy materials, to frame your art pieces? That is something that you should be keeping track of as well, because you at least want to sell your art piece to then be able to make enough money to buy new materials to make more art pieces. The third thing is, where are you in your art career? Are you a beginner? Are you an emerging artist? Are you a commercial represented professional artist? This is really important because the professional artists usually will already have a following and collectors basis built up. They started out beginner, people started buying their artwork, and because of that it became more in demand, so then they can raise their prices higher. People want their artwork. People are wanting to buy it. There's more competition for their art pieces. If you're a beginner, you probably don't have as big as a following. You want to keep your prices as low as possible. One of the things that is on my do not list for artists is you never want to start your price too high and then realize it's too high and price it lower. Because it's like the economy, and once something starts depleting in cost, it doesn't seem as valuable as something to put money into. It's not a great investment if the price is going lower. So always start off low. And you don't want to go too low, because this is also a problem if you're just giving away your artwork. And that is where the time and the material cost is really important for a beginner artist to track, because you at least want to cover those two. And then once you grow as an artist in your collectors and followers basis, you can then raise your prices higher. If we're going to be talking about don'ts and do's for artists, one of the big don'ts that you want to keep in mind is, if you're going to start putting your artwork out there, approaching galleries, showing your artwork to your friends, always have a price in mind. Always. You don't want Jan from work seeing your art piece and then coming up to you and asking you, how much does it cost? I'd really like to buy it. It's a wonderful, wonderful piece and I want to have it in my home. And you as the artist says, I don't know. What do you think, Jan? How much would you pay for it? And then Jan is in this super awkward conversation of having to price your artwork when she doesn't know how much it costs, how much time that you put into it. She doesn't know anything other than that she likes it and would like a price on it. So it's your responsibility as the artist to price your own work and always to have a price in your head to give people. If Jan says, whew, that's out of my price range, and you say, for you, Jan, because you're such a wonderful coworker, I'm going to give you a discount. And Jan then feels very special, and now she's thinking, I'm getting a deal, and I can afford it now. So you can have it priced at the price that you think in your head, but it doesn't mean that there's not wiggle room in there as well. Another do not is the same thing when you're trying to approach a gallery. You should always have a price list. What is your price point? As gallery director, I want to know what's your price point, what's your most expensive work, what's your lowest cost piece. And if you don't know that when you're approaching galleries, you're not ready to approach a gallery, because you should have that already set up. This is your business. An artist comes in to me and says, you know, I really need help pricing my artwork. I don't know what to price it at. I say, all right, come back and I want to know how much time you spent on your art piece, how much materials cost, and usually by that time I can kind of gauge where they are in their own art career. And then I can help them price their artwork. But it's okay in a non-profit realm, okay? It still is not the best way to approach an art gallery and be taken seriously. When we're working with artists, there's a professional level that we are seeking, because at that level we know that the artists take themselves and their artwork seriously and they're professional, and that's what our goal is, to work with professional artists. So I would really recommend trying to find someone outside of an art gallery, maybe a consultant or a specialist. If you're really having trouble pricing your artwork, go to them first. Don't go to the art gallery director and ask them to price your artwork, because it doesn't look so good on the artists themselves. You want to come to the gallery director and say, this is how much my artwork costs. Are you interested in showing it? And I will either say, ooh, I think your price point is a little too high, or ooh, you probably could price your artwork higher. The gallery director will tell you, but go into that meeting with some solid numbers. Also remember that when you're pricing your artwork, it should always be the same price, and we covered this in the last video for a second. It should always be the same price as the price that you're going to take it to an art gallery. An art gallery's standard commission takes about 40 to 50%, sometimes more. And when you're an artist, you don't realize how much the gallery spends on staff time, on renting the gallery, on bringing in prospective collectors to see your show, and all of that costs a lot of money. And so if you, as an artist, price your piece at $2,000, and then you want to have a show and you say, oh, the commission's 40%, I'm going to go to $4,000. The gallery is going to be very upset at you, because people then know, because you invite your friends and family and collectors and these collectors, everyone knows that your price point in your studio is a lot lower than at the gallery, and they'll buy it from you at the studio, which is a huge no-no, because the gallery then feels cheated on all their hard work that they put into you as an artist. So remember, price your artwork fairly. When you're starting off, it might seem like you're not making a whole lot off your pieces, which you probably won't, but as long as you make the material cost back, you can start making more. Build your collector base up, and then you can raise your prices higher and higher. So we're going to stop there for right now. Just a short, tiny video on the basics of what to think about when trying to price your artwork. We'll get into greater detail later in the series go, but if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to comment below or send me an email and we can discuss your own artwork and how to price it. So have a happy Thanksgiving, and I'll see you next week.